So you expect me to solve all your problems in 10 to 15 minutes of my speech. I try to do as much as I can. But anyway, thank you. It's a wonderful event, wonderful evening. All the dignitaries of the Indian Medical Association, Jay Chandran ji, Ashokan ji, Anil Kumar ji, Dwaraka Reddy garu, Nandakishore ji, Rajan Sharma ji, Fanidhar ji, Dr. Samaram ji, and all the other members, the senior doctors from Guntur and other areas of Andhra Pradesh, and all the young doctors sitting right there patiently waiting for all the speeches, journalists, media people, and all my friends. Good evening and thank you. It's truly an honor and pleasure to address you all today. I studied in Guntur, my intermediate. I did my MBBS in Osmania Medical College. Initially, I was trying for Guntur Medical College to study, but fortunately, I got a good rank and I went to Osmania. And this is another way to come back to Guntur and giving it back. So thank you for that. Second, as I reflect my journey from being a doctor to an entrepreneur and to a politician, I think the foundation that I built my career being a doctor set the stage for me for being a successful entrepreneur and so far a successful politician as well. Why I say this is, as a doctor, every exam required long hours of study, every diagnosis demanded diligence, and every treatment required deep and thorough understanding of the socio-economic status of every patient. I gained knowledge not only from the medical textbooks, but from the silent stories etched on every patient's face. I discovered patience is not a virtue, it's a part of life. I learned how to avoid conflict of interest as being a doctor. You know, in US, they take every gift a patient brings to you very seriously. And it's instilled in your blood how to avoid this conflict of interest. And I also learned communication is the bridge between a confusion and a clarity. And by explaining and understanding the complex medical topics and my ability to explain them in a simple way also helped me to connect with my entrepreneurial journey, to explain my vision to my employees and also to connect with the people as a politician. So in all, it's a true blessing to be a doctor, to start my career. And if I have another life, I would want exactly the same path. And today I carry with me the same dedication to listen, understand, and act as a politician to heal the societies. A lot of you have been practicing in much more challenging places than me. Being a doctor in India isn't just a job. It's a journey filled with challenges and profound responsibilities. And one example is how the COVID-19 pandemic tested all of your resilience like they never before. Many of you work endless hours, sacrifice time with your families, and put your own lives at risk. When the world stepped back, doctors stepped forward. Your dedication during these unprecedented times has been nothing short of heroic. So I wanted to thank you, everyone, from the bottom of my heart. However, we cannot ignore the challenges that continue to plague our profession. I listened patiently all your issues that you have been talking, and I also have taken a brief in Delhi from IMA members, because the issues that you are all facing are quite complex, whether it is related to infrastructure, working in rural areas with suboptimal conditions, and escalating violence, whether it is work-life balance, creating an affordable and accessible systems when the country is still coming out of poverty, in balancing patient care, and numerous administrative burdens, whether it is regulatory issues or not getting bills in due time while you spend so much money. So all in all, I would say you are the unsung heroes who often bear the brunt of societal neglect. And I am deeply sympathetic to all of you. And I will work in understanding your issues much more deeply and taking these issues to both state and central governments. Me working over the last 5 months in these governmental systems, now I have a much better understanding how things work, what needs to be done. But I can tell you it requires enormous amounts of patience. And it requires continuous dialogue, continuous push, and continuous follow-up. Then only things will materialize. When it comes to violence, several people gave so many ideas. One medical association came to me and said, we need a tribunal. Then I thought it was a good idea. Then I went to actually Prime Minister's Secretary and asked, why can't we put a tribunal for medical people? Then they said, sir, tribunals are good for the first 2 years. There are so many tribunals. After 3-4 years, a tribunal becomes just like any other court, because you have accumulated number of cases and it's the same story. And once you start giving it to one profession, then you have 100 others, and it's very hard to maintain. And then people have talked about punishing, much stricter. I agree with that. Obviously doing a stricter punishments is one part of the solution. But I think there is a deep-rooted problem in our society that's brewing. And I think everybody has to take some responsibility in addition to the government's responsibilities. There is a deep mistrust growing among the patients as well. Not just because everybody, there are a lot of 80-90% of doctors are wonderful, but there is 10-15% when they do certain things, the mistrust start happening. And the escalating costs, socioeconomic status, and how we communicate patients, how we manage their expectations, and how we sensitize to their issues through empathy, through compassion. These are all much larger discussions. You look at in US. In the US, the laws are very strict. Actually, physicians who communicate effectively in a compassionate manner and tell the patient all the issues in upfront and being honest, and if there is a medical error happens, coming first by the physician, that mistake has happened, actually resulted in much lower number of lawsuits than the people who conceal that information and the patients later find out. The reason is people do understand when we are honest, when we are ethical. So, whenever you are giving a consent, whenever you are treating a patient, manage their expectations really well. Take the consent, and then we have to cultivate these things into the medical colleges itself, and how to communicate with the people. We have to instill medical education with strong ethics as well. Please do not take a mistake that I am saying excuse. I will do everything from the government perspective, everything that's possible. But I see a bigger problem here, and I'm happy, whatever the acts we can enact, at the end of the day, the acts are there, but the implementation and execution is still an issue in the country. So all those things have a much longer path, and I will continue to work, and I will reach out to you guys. And even though I am a Minister for Rural Development and Communications, in addition to my departments, we have hired 1 or 2 people exclusively to work on policies that are not related to my department, so that in the long run I have a much better understanding of how the systems are working in every area, and I can contribute to whatever extent I can. And I also want you to know the governments are doing their level best. You look at Sri Narendra Modi ji, you look at the schemes like Ayushman Bharat, it has basically a game changer, providing healthcare access to millions. And visionary leaders like Chandrababu Naidu garu, who envisioned Genome Valley, which became quite handy during the COVID. And we need leaders like those, and more leaders from you also. All the doctors who have been settled, happy, 50, 55 years, at some point coming out into the communities. And you actually did come out, actually in the last 6 months or 1 year. Actually, you are one of the people who came out openly first time when the states are going through the distress. And you showed your bravery, you fought for it. But I want you to guys continue to fight, not just during the only difficult times. I want you to be a continuous voice. I know IMA is there. They will support you, they will guide you, they will defend you, they will fight for you. But IMA alone may not be sufficient, and we need much more broader push from every area. And if you look at India, India is becoming a healthcare hub. I see immense hope. When I went to US 25 years ago, I saw a US which was very vibrant. You can see everybody, people are really working hard. They see a positive vibration. And now I see, after I coming back over the last 4 or 5 years especially, I see a similar situation in India. Whichever university I go, the youth are brimming with ideas. They want to succeed. They want to create entrepreneurship. So it's a similar kind of energy. And we have an opportunity to lead medical tourism. And our medical expertise being recognized worldwide. And our research is making significant global impact. However, as we navigate this rapidly changing landscape of medicine, whether it is embracing artificial intelligence, telemedicine, or genomic medicine, we must not forget the most powerful tool remains human touch, your compassion, your empathy, and your wisdom. As I suggest, one other thing, patients tell the stories that they do not tell to anybody, including their own family members also. They give their bodies for us to examine, which is not easy, and they don't do it with any other profession. That means they have immense trust in doctors. And we must reciprocate that same trust. So, in conclusion, let us inspire each other, support one another, and work together to make a healthcare system that is not just efficient but compassionate, that is not just accessible but affordable, and not just functional but truly transformative. Together, let us build a future where healthcare is a right, not a privilege, and where every doctor feels empowered and respected. And I will do my level best for that process. Thank you.